Hello and welcome to the budget special on the Rajya Sabha TV. Today I have with me Mr. Mallikarjun Kharge, leader of the Congress party in the Lok Sabha, and we'll be discussing with him the budget presented by Finance Minister Arun Jaitley. Mr. Kharge, what is your first reaction to the budget? It is said, one of the things which is said about this budget is, by the critics of the budget, that there is not much difference between what the UPA government has done and what the NDA government proposes to do.
No, that is, see, whatever our programs were there, those programs were continued, but he has not highlighted. He has given different name to the programs, even for this Gramin Vidyutikaran, for urban renewal programs, and other developmental programs. He has given different names, but the programs are same. That is one thing. And another thing is that there is nothing new in it. What he has given to the social sector, human development, poor people. So except few announcements, nearly I think some 29 schemes he has announced. For each scheme, he has said that the allocation is 100 crores, 100 crores, either 100 crores or 50 crores. This is the announcement. And he says that this is an initial amount, and it is not going to, he will get more amount next year. So he has got already 3-4 months, it will go in the budget session only. For implementation, hardly there will be 7 months. And this year it will go as it is. The next 3 years, he has to implement several things what they have promised in their election manifesto and president's speech. And as Prime Minister said, Modi ji, 4 years development, 5th year politics.
Right.
He said, when you are doing politics in 5th year, and this year has gone, left only 3 years.
No, that's they couldn't have helped it probably, because the elections took place only in May. Your government had presented the interim budget. There was not much time left for them to present the budget. Anyway, but some of the proposals which he has made. For instance, FDI in industry, even in defense, FDI in insurance. These are all things which even your government was planning to take it forward. You think that these are issues on which Congress should not have any problem with these proposals? Then
I will ask, on what ground Srimati Sushma Swaraj opposed at that time? On what ground the Jaitley opposed? When our own finance minister, Mr. Chidambaram, met him, discussed him, he opposed.
On what? Which one specifically?
Yes, on FDI, he opposed. They are not going to agree 49%. And whatever then Finance Minister Mr. Yashwant Sinha ji, during Atal Bihari's time, what 26%, they were sticking with that only. Then what made them to agree now? When we want to go forward, you pushed us backside. And now when you have come to power, you are telling about the progress, development. It itself shows that you have got double standard, you are confused, and you don't want progress. If you wanted development in this country, you could have supported at that time also. So you're trying to say that they are being hypocritical, and when they were out of power they say one thing, and when in power they say another. But even if you admit that, even accept that your criticism is well taken, but the fact is that, do you think that the opposition will be able to support this? Because in any case you don't have too much numbers in Lok Sabha at least. So the crucial thing is in Rajya Sabha, will they be able to get support for some of these schemes which your government has proposed? See, whatever our government has taken some steps in some of the welfare measures, yes, we welcome those things. But that also how he is going to implement, because he is telling some doubts about Narega, some doubts about food security,
Right.
and even some doubts about the RSBY program. So we want to see how he is going to do it, and there is no clarity on these welfare measures.
He says that Manrega, for instance, Manrega, he says that it needs to be strengthened, more assets need to be created. There should not be any problem in that. There have been a lot of discussion during your government's time also, how to improve, strengthen Manrega, I mean, and then use it to create more assets in rural areas.
Nobody.
Should that be a problem?
No, nobody refuse it. Everybody wants to create asset only. We want that desilting, renovation of tanks, regeneration of tanks, repairs of tanks, canals, roads, construction of school buildings. We want that, and for that only but you have to generate minimum 100 days for them.
Right.
That is the employment guarantee for them.
So you are not.
You should not say because there is no work, that's why we don't. Whether you have got work or not, at least you should engage all the agriculture laborers for 100 days.
So
that is the employment guarantee.
So what you are trying to say is that there can't be any dilution in the 100 days aspect of that scheme.
Yes.
And there has also been a proposal to, Rajasthan government recently made a proposal that instead of an act, it should become a scheme. You think, what do you think is the intention behind it? And when the finance minister says that Manrega should be strengthened, you think, do you think there is any such proposal?
The Rajasthan chief minister, I think she is not in favor of poor people, because making a scheme is different thing. Giving a guarantee of employment is a different thing.
Under an act.
So, whatever schemes you make, but you should give a guarantee that these people should be given employment for nearly 100 days. Because number of agricultural laborers were migrating from one place to another. They are all unorganized people. So, to help them, at least to have some bread and butter, this scheme has been brought. Because of that only, today the wages in poorer class, whatever is there, it has gone up.
The agricultural
wages have gone up.
Yes.
Because of that. If you want to help somebody else, then you have to cut down. So we have given a legislative backing to this. In a scheme, there is no backing.
Absolutely. Now coming to the issue of subsidies, this government, it's very clear. There was a lot of discussion before the budget and even during the campaign and things like that. That maybe if this government comes to power, they will be reducing the subsidies on food and things like that. But we don't see any such signs in the budget, because in fact food subsidies, there has been some marginal increase also. So you think that they are on the right track as far as subsidies is concerned? All those fears which people had has been doesn't find any substance in the budget.
No, you see, whatever earlier programs were there, he said that he will continue. Though I interrupted in between when he was reading the budget speech, and when he mentioned about the Pradhan Mantri Sadak Yojana allocation of 37,000 crores, at that time I myself asked, what is the allocation for Manrega and other things? For that we have not made clarification, though the Pradhan Mantri Sadak Yojana is also old. And then he said that no, all old schemes will continue. See, the continuing the old scheme is no problem. We all welcome it. But how you are going to do it, because you yourself is expressing doubts, suspicions, your own chief ministers, those who are implementing agency in the states, they are opposing it. It means that you are not in favor of poor people. Your mind itself is telling, your mindset, your ideology, that you yourself telling the people that this should be converted instead of right, it should be converted as a scheme, and whenever necessary it should be done. So that itself shows that you don't want to give guarantee to the poor people of employment, then just you want to utilize that money for some schemes.
One of the things which the finance minister said today in the budget speech was that the state of the economy as it stands today, below 5% growth rate, fiscal deficit, around 4.6%. All this has happened only because of the populism. The kind of, that the UPA government had become victims of populism, victims of mismanagement, or they were mismanaged the whole thing. Wasteful expenditure was, they indulged in. So, so he is trying to say that it is whatever problems are there now is because of the UPA government, and he has a major challenge to overcome it.
See, because his ideology, their party ideology is that they want to help few individuals rather than masses. Our country consisting of workers, lower middle class and rich class. So they are talking always in favor of rich and not in favor of poor. That's why they say that this is all waste. Giving education is waste, giving midday meal is waste, giving Narega scheme for constructive work and giving employment is waste, giving food a persons who won't get a day's meal. Suppose is on subsidized rate, if you give some rice, some wheat, is it waste? Do you think waste? Then when we are going to give some subsidies to the small and marginal industries, and big industries some concessions and some tax holidays for the big industrial corridors, you can give that, but you don't want to safeguard the interest of the poor people, and you say that it is waste. And for farmers we are giving fertilizer subsidy and we are giving chemical subsidy.
He has specifically spoken about relooking at the entire urea subsidy business, and a committee is being appointed to look at this. That's one thing. But the point which he's trying to make, and many critics of the UPA government also were saying, is that all these schemes which you are talking about, or programs which you have spoken about, some of the flagship programs like Manrega and all these things, the problem was that during the implementation, the targeted beneficiaries were not getting the benefit. It was, it was being wasted. There was a lot of corruption at the ground level. There was a lot of mismanagement. So if he is saying that we will set that right, what should be the problem?
No, you set right it. Everywhere state governments are there. There are Congress governments. There are BJP government. There are regional governments who prevented you to improve it, but don't scrap it. Our contention is that you should not say because somebody is misusing, that's why we want to scrap this scheme. See, always, suppose if you have got a headache, are you going to cure it or are you going to cut your head? So always you must cure. Wherever the scheme is faulty, wherever there is leakage, wherever there is misuse, you have got every right to improve it.
Absolutely. Okay, sir. On that note, I think we need to go into a very short break. Please keep watching. We'll come back and continue this discussion with Mr. Mallikarjun Kharge. Welcome back. This is the budget special on Rajya Sabha TV. I have with me Mr. Mallikarjun Kharge, leader of the Congress party in the Lok Sabha. Mr. Kharge, there you held two very important ministries, during your period in the government. One was the labor and other is the railways. Coming to labor, it's very interesting that there is not a mention in the budget speech of Mr. Arun Jaitley about anything concerning labor or labor reforms. There's a lot of talk in this country about need for labor reforms. How do you look at this?
See, I don't know what is their labor reforms. I mean, whether they want to scrap all the 43 acts which are enacted in favor of the workers, one thing. And I also didn't find any place for schemes for workers, organized workers or even unorganized workers, or even there is no substantial amount they have kept. except 1,000 crores pension, 1,000 rupee pension for all the citizens.
For all senior citizens,
All
above
ci-
60.
All senior citizens.
Which is not a bad thing. This was a demand of a lot of people,
No. Who said it is bad? Except that, what about the same thing has been demanded in Provident Fund, the organized workers, those who are contributing, and their money you want now to invest in some
Mutual fund.
no, in some stocks and also share some shares to be purchased to invest some banks and other things. All these things are told in the budget. So when you talk about these things, you are not talking about the welfare of the workers at all. So that itself shows that somewhere they are not comfortable with poor people.
What were you expecting as far as the labor front? What did you expect them to do?
No,
What are the schemes which the UPA government or proposals of the UPA government which has been left pending and which you thought this government should have pursued?
No, they could have made more allocations, whatever we have made, whether the child labor issue, whether it is the women workers, unorganized workers, safety and improvement, their children's education. So many other things they could have done in this field also. But unfortunately, they say that now we have come, hardly our government is 45 days. We can do next, he said. So let us wait. Now we are also not, we can't comment for everything, but I can comment on the policies, what the things are coming from their heart. For that we are worried.
No, but as far as labor reforms are concerned, when you were a labor minister, you had proposed certain reforms, and why some of them couldn't be carried through? And will the Congress be fully cooperating with the government in ensuring that some reforms take place?
No, reforms means it should help workers also, and at the same time remove certain difficulties what industries are facing. So it should be balanced one.
Right.
Only if you want to suppress the workers to that extent, if you want to amend the laws, it is not fair. But now what happened? After Contract Act, after outsourcing, now all workers, particularly unorganized workers, they are unsafe. They don't have any future at all. Simply,
you don't have any protection.
Yes. And now if you leave survival of the fittest, then there should not be any law for anybody. See, always there should be a restricted laws to safeguard some people who are facing difficulties. Yes, if industry facing some difficulty, you discuss with the organizations and also the other political parties and settle it. Instead of that, so moto, everybody talking from their party,
there is a
labor reform. What kind of labor reform?
Labor reforms which the Rajasthan government has also, recently has when it comes to Contract Labor Act and 4 major labor laws, they are planning to amend and they are planning to go ahead with. You think those kind of amendments can be accepted at the national level?
See, I am telling you, if those reforms are in the best interest of the workers and at the same time smooth running of the industry can be accepted. Just because there are some restrictions to help workers, if you want to give away those things, it is not good. Yes, but Rajasthan government is opposing every welfare scheme. They oppose Manrega, they oppose labor laws, they will oppose tomorrow even reservations. I don't know what type of ideology they have got.
You're talking of reservations. For SCs and STs, the finance minister has come out with some specific proposals for SCs and STs, which looks like they are good schemes. So you think that enough has been done for the SC/STs in this budget?
No, that is only the SCP amount he has set out. What is this is great in that the previous governments, all governments, they tried their best and they are keeping the money and they are utilizing it. So there is nothing new, because when he talks in the budget about all sections, he is talking about, say, SC/STs also.
So you don't see any special privilege being given or special attention being given to them?
No. As far as their welfare schemes are concerned, except that joint farming, cooperative farming or joint farming improvement, he has kept 5 lakhs rupees for SC/ST farmers if they come forward.
Right.
That is, so that scheme is already in several states, and even government of India was also supporting from the social justice department and even from the
tribal welfare.
irrigation. And tribal welfare is different, SC is different.
Right.
These programs were there. So let us see how he is going to implement. But overall, whatever funds is there, it is not a additionality. Whatever funds is available in the total, that he is giving, not more than that. Yes, if he takes interest, convince the planning commission to give a proportionate to the population, the funds, developmental funds, SC/ST, then that will be a great achievement.
Okay, coming to the railways, you were the last railway minister of the UPA government, and then now this government has come over. It has made many proposals. Do you see the railways coming out of the what were the measures which you expected this government to take as in railways, and where do you think the government has failed in it?
Here, the finance minister, honorable finance minister, should have supported the railways in a big way.
He has made a commitment of several thousand crores for northeast, for having railways in the northeast. But we don't see anything else as
No. I welcome for northeast, because that is Arunachal Pradesh, Assam, all the 7 states are very backward, and very weak link of railways is there. That's why the previous government was also given support to railway projects, and a gross budgetary support was given to that, and also Jammu and Kashmir. But
he has announced 1,000 crores more than what you had announced in your interim budget.
That is because of that border area.
Right.
That is because of we have to reach the last village of Arunachal. So that is there, and it is a sensitive area. We want to take the railway. Giving 1,000 is nothing for that area. But at the same time, you should give money to railway for general areas, because in many of the states have got a poor infrastructure of railways. There you should, the finance department should come forward. They support, like road you are supporting, but you are not supporting railways.
No, but it has been made very clear in the railway minister's budget speech that they are going in for PPP model, and as far as majority of the projects are concerned.
See.
So when you were the railway minister, there was talk of PPPs and things like that. So why are you, and your party has strongly criticized this PPP model. Now why are you criticizing it?
No, PPP, nobody is coming forward. We have tried, they have also tried, not only in railway, in other sectors also. They could not mobilize money. Even till today, for many of the projects, except in road and bridges, that also they are facing today problem. All in Maharashtra, what is happening? The Shiva Sena is objecting for toll collection. What happened in Haryana? What happened in Bangalore? Several places they are objecting. Which PPP will come forward? Only you can't build up the development only under PPP mode or FDI, showing only these two things to all the people. You can't improve it. You have to build up your own resources and give to the backward areas, particularly where this network is very weak. And people always say, railway is under loss. Railway is not under loss any time. They themselves are given under if they earn 100 rupees, they spend 96 rupees.
94 or 96?
94 rupees, sorry. 94. It means a 6% is profit. But that 6% is not enough for your infrastructure.
Development.
Then you should say, to develop more and create more infrastructure, we want to put more more freight charges and passenger charges. You should say like that.
No, but
you are saying no. You are saying what? The railway are facing loss. That's why we are. Railway is, you have got a social responsibility.
Absolutely. That is, in fact, the railway minister spoke about it. It is a dilemma between commercial viability and social viability. So you think that if you look at the railway budget, there is a concentration more on commercial viability?
No, himself, it is, you might have read or you might have heard the speech of Mr. Jaitley in Rajya Sabha. He said, when you are using, you should pay.
Yes.
So here in railways, there are certain sections, certain people who have got special privileges, special concessions, and that is continued because in their, not only their welfare, in the welfare of general.
Social responsibility you're talking
Yes. For example, students pass,
Right.
The employees pass, the army, in the election they move on concession rates, and even for yatras, tourism, they move on concession. See, all these are concessions. You should not say that.
You can't give it up.
No, how can you give it up? These are social, and simply if you say you are using, you should give more. So it is not in the case of Indian Airlines, it may be better or some other, but not in this case. This is a poor man's communication.
Okay. So finally, the Congress party with its very little numbers in the Lok Sabha has an opportunity to see that the issues concerning common man, issues concerning the nation, will you be able to cooperate? Because we have seen in the first few days of the session already there's a lot of problems in the house. There's a lot of we saw what happened in the house in the last few days. So you think the Congress party should take the lead in ensuring that the house functions in a normal and peaceful manner?
No, we are
What
always.
is your responsibility as a leader?
As a floor leader and as a responsible party, as a national party, we are always supporting for constructive work. And whenever in the house anything comes in favor of poor people, we are always supporting. We took first day that inflation because people expected that the members of parliament should talk about inflation, increasing prices and essential commodities. So that is the thing we did. But whereas in Rajya Sabha, they agreed for discussion. In Lok Sabha, unnecessarily it was postponed. So people say that what parliament people, they are not ready to discuss.
Okay.
See, these are the things. Unnecessary, sometimes government makes a prestige issue. One should not make a prestige issue. In the interest of the people, if things are good, it is, even rules are not there, the speaker has got abundant power to suspend the rules and she can allow any, provided the government agrees.
Okay, sir. On that note, we will end. But we hope that this new job which you have as leader of the Congress party, it has a huge responsibility, and we hope to see you functioning in a positive manner. Thank you for joining us.